For more than 5 decades, Sam Elliott's voice has become synonymous with the American cinematic experience. With its deep, steady cadence and unhurried drawl, his voice commands attention the moment it enters a room. It's a voice that has told the stories of ordinary men who have become legends on screen. Yet for nearly 2 decades, Sam Elliott was Hollywood's almost man, the face people recognized but couldn't place, the name that never seemed to land the role. His story is one of persistence, of slowly but surely carving a place for himself in an industry that kept overlooking him. Elliott's journey isn't one of overnight stardom, but one of quiet, hard-won success, built on resilience, an indomitable will, and a refusal to disappear. His is a voice that almost never existed in Hollywood, but in the end, it became one of the most iconic in film history. A silent upbringing and early struggles, born on August 9, 1944, in Sacramento, California, Sam Elliott's early life was defined by an emotionally distant relationship with his father. His father, Henry Nelson Elliott, worked for the California Department of Fish and Game and was a man of practical, no-nonsense values. Meanwhile, his mother, Glenn Mai Sudtor, brought warmth and steady love to the family. However, the space between these two figures was filled with silence, especially between Sam and his father. While Henry provided for the family and took part in everyday life, he didn't know how to emotionally connect with his son. For a young boy, this lack of warmth and approval created a wound that would shape Sam for years to come. In a world where tangible work and measurable results were the standard, Sam's dreams of becoming an actor seemed frivolous to his father, deepening that wound. A defining moment with his father. At the University of Oregon, Sam Elliott's life took its first defining turn when he confronted his father's disapproval directly. By then, Sam had discovered acting, an undeniable calling. His love for the craft had been nurtured by watching westerns, where the performances had a grip on something deep within him. Acting wasn't just an escape for Sam, it was the key to understanding his life. But Henry, practical and rooted in reality, couldn't see it the same way. The conversation between them wasn't dramatic or explosive, but it was heavy with disapproval. His father's steady conviction that Sam was making a mistake hit harder than any explosive argument ever could. This rift between father and son would continue to shape Sam's choices, ultimately pushing him toward a path that would take him far from the rigid expectations of his family. The move to Hollywood. After transferring to Clark College in Vancouver, Washington, Sam Elliott tried his hand at various jobs: land surveying, odd jobs, and a brief stint in a practical life. Yet the pull of acting never released him. Sam's desire to act became a drive he couldn't ignore. In the mid-1960s, he moved to Los Angeles, not with connections or confidence, but with sheer stubbornness. Hollywood at the time was not kind to newcomers, particularly those who didn't fit the mold of the industry's preferred leading man. Sam's presence, too intense for light comedy, too unconventional for drama, seemed to baffle the casting agents. His first break came in the form of a small role in a Chevron commercial, which allowed him to prove to himself that the next step was possible. But the true breakthrough never came easily. Instead, Sam's career was built on small, humble beginnings in the face of almost constant rejection. Surviving the wilderness of Hollywood. For Sam Elliott, the 1960s and early 1970s were defined by survival in Hollywood's wilderness. His presence was always peripheral, with guest spots on TV shows and minor roles in films. He was the face that never quite registered, the actor who showed up, delivered, and then disappeared, leaving no lasting mark. His roles in shows like Gunsmoke, Mission Impossible, and the FBI were crucial to his development as an actor. But they were never enough to make him a household name. The frustration Sam experienced wasn't due to lack of talent. It was because the industry didn't know what to do with someone like him. Sam wasn't the conflicted, self-aware kind of hero that the new Hollywood of the late 1960s and early 1970s was embracing. He wasn't seeking his place in the world. He had already found it. And because of this, the industry had no shelf for a man like Sam Elliott. The struggle with almost. By the time the 1970s rolled around, Sam Elliott was familiar with the word almost. He had been in proximity to greatness, yet never allowed to sit at its table. In 1969, he had appeared briefly in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a film that would become a landmark in cinema. But his role was so small that it went largely unnoticed. In Hollywood, proximity to greatness doesn't guarantee access to it. Throughout the 1970s, Sam Elliott continued to struggle with almost being cast in significant roles. He was a character actor who had the ability to bring depth to any role, but the industry struggled to find a proper place for him. The mustache, the voice, everything that would later become iconic, was already there. But it didn't fit into the era's vision of leading men. A shifting industry and a new opportunity. As the 1970s went on, something began to shift for Sam Elliott. His patience, honed through years of rejection and frustration, began to pay off. In 1976, he landed his first leading role in Lifeguard, a modest film about a man grappling with the passage of time and the choices he had made. The role of Rick Carlson, a lifeguard approaching middle age, felt incredibly personal to Sam. The character, unsure about his life's direction and still waiting for something to come along, mirrored Sam's own experiences up to that point. Though Lifeguard didn't make him a star, it proved something important. Sam Elliott was ready for more. This role marked a turning point in his career, signaling that the industry was about to take a closer look at the man who had always been there but had never quite been seen. Building a legacy in Hollywood after Lifeguard, Sam Elliott's career began to gather momentum. Though it wasn't without its challenges, Hollywood still didn't know exactly how to categorize him, but Sam's authenticity could no longer be ignored. Over time, his roles became more significant, and his voice, deep, timeless, and unmistakable, became a hallmark of his presence in any film or television show. In the years that followed, he would continue to build his legacy, proving that a man doesn't have to fit the industry's molds to become an icon. For Sam Elliott, success didn't come quickly or easily, but it came on his terms. His journey wasn't just about finding fame. It was about building an enduring career that reflected his authenticity, resilience, and refusal to be defined by anyone other than himself. Sam Elliott's enduring legacy. As Sam Elliott's career continued to unfold, he became more than just a character actor. He became an icon of American cinema. His films and television appearances have left an indelible mark on Hollywood, influencing countless actors who came after him. Sam's journey reminds us that sometimes success is a slow burn. It isn't always about hitting it big overnight. It's about staying true to yourself, refusing to conform, and continuing to work relentlessly toward your goals. Sam Elliott's legacy is a testament to the power of persistence and authenticity, proving that even in an industry obsessed with the next big thing, there is room for those who are willing to wait for their time to come.